All right, I feel compelled to address the forage that redfish prefer. Now, it doesn't take a whole lot to know what that's going to be in most estuaries. Almost every estuary, from Texas all the way around the upper Gulf Coast, through Florida and up the Atlantic coast, is likely going to hold some type of shrimp or crab species. These would have to be number one and number two, the meat and potatoes of the redfish diet. Depending on the size of the redfish, it determines how much or how big they eat. But they also take advantage of certain runs of bait. So there are going to be hatches of bait that you might need to focus on, like when we have a small threadfin or whitebait hatch here in Florida. Or there's a mullet run, for instance. Many of the fish that live along the Atlantic seaboard target mullet. So you may be using topwaters or suspending plugs that have a mullet profile there. Any bait fish you can almost imagine, menhaden, all of these are finfish that redfish would eat. They're opportunistic. They're going to eat most of the baits in the water. I know that they eat snails, for instance. That's something that you don't think about. But they eat literally almost anything that you can imagine that they can make use of. And when they're young, they may focus more on the crustacean forages. But once you start getting into those 3 and 4 and 5-year-old fish and much older, they're going to attack with vigor finfish. These all play a role in how you're going to go about picking lures.